right. Trying a couple things here. Let's go live here. Move this around a little bit. Okay. Well, I thought I'd just go live YouTube and Instagram and try it out, see what's going on. Why not? Doesn't hurt. For some reason, it's saying my chat is disabled on here. I don't know why, but we'll see. I'm going to play around with some Pro Tools today. Just thought I'd take you along for some fun. Why not? See what's happening. See what's going on. I'm going to turn on one more screen in my studio. See if I can arrange a couple of things so that I can see you all maybe. Let's go ahead and make this move to a new window. Put that there. Just trying to get a feel for all this live stuff. Why not? I never do live. Who doesn't want to see me live, right? I don't know if I ever want to see me live, but here I am live. Move one more thing up and over here. And let's play with some audio, shall we, folks? Let's play with some audio. So some of you might have known that I recently got my Rolly Airwave, and with that came some new fun. Let's start up our Rolly software. Put this on and get it to calibrate, because you always got to calibrate, right? Who doesn't want to calibrate new stuff? Let's see, is it seeing my keyboard this time? It is. Yay! Calibrate the keyboard. Tell it where I am. There we go. No, sees that. So this is the cool, fun toy of the Rolly, which allows me to play with a lot of other fun stuff. And I was playing around recently with some weather in here, and I thought this was really cool. Go down to weather. Here it is. And give me some wind. And I can tell it to learn the CC, but I'm going to have to select the CC first. So, learn the x-axis for the glide. There we go. Have it learn the y-axis for the rise. There we go. And we're going to have the intensity go for grip. There we go. didn't get my x-axis correct. Let's try that again. And this is always the tricky thing with MIDI, right? Is sometimes it gets it right the first time, and other times it doesn't. Let's try that again. There it goes. Just need to go back down to the... So, I can show you with Airwave Player. What I'm doing with my hands. I'm gonna shrink that, pull this over. See if we can get both in the shot at once here. I thought this was pretty darn cool, where just by why not? Let's do wind trees. Let's see what that gives us. Now, the only thing that I'm not a huge fan of is that I have to relearn the MIDI every time. I'm talking to Gross about fixing it so that I don't have to do it every time. But for right now, I do. That's okay. Stop the wind for a second here, and let's go back to Rolly Airwave Player. I think with this, I think you're supposed to be able to switch how far you have to go with this. I don't want to grip so far. Something like that. Let's try that. Let's see what that does for us. Save changes, go back over here, start up my wind. I seem to have lost my side-to-side action here. There it goes. So it seems with the Rolly Airwave, like even when you have it calibrated, it's like sort of to get it go back, I have to go down and touch my C-board, which is my keyboard. Ooh, you know what would be better for intensity? Instead of doing a grip, let's clear that. Let's clear that. Let's go to MIDI Learn again. And let's go over here and do a slide. Is that learning that? Let's clear that assignment. Go MIDI Learn. Go slide. I think now it's got it. And what the slide allows me to do is go back and forth. So now I can stay at that intensity. Problem I have with the slide is that it has this like knoll area where it just stops. Maybe we switch it to tilt. Why don't we switch it to tilt? Let's switch it to tilt. Let's clear that MIDI assignment. Go back over here and MIDI learn. Go here and say MIDI learn and say left tilt. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I think that's going to work really well for this. Put on the quick effects here and go for the filter only, and I can learn this and I can make that learned the grip. So MIDI learn. Is it learning that? Come on. MIDI learn. Learn the grasp. You don't seem to be learning that. No. Wonder why that is. Why that's not. Maybe I could tell it to MIDI learn slide. That doesn't. That MIDI learn. All right. So that's a bug to report. Really set up my other second camera so you can see the hand motion. I just wanted to jump on the show and play around and just see what was going to happen. Let's go to wind and rain. Let's play with this one a little bit. So this. Set up our MIDI learn again. Let's set up this to be x-axis to be glide. Y-axis to be raise. Could do it with both hands, but I think I'm going to stay with one hand. This is tilt. And this. Trying to control all this with one hand is screwing with my brain. That ain't helping. What else can we do? Let's play with some other sounds here. All right. So this I'm going to take and again do my MIDI learn tricks here with glide. Clear. Glide. Y-axis raise. And then pitch. Pitch if we do a flex. So flex is, if you take a look at Airwave Player, flex is when you sort of just tilt your hand. So let's go back here. I wish it'd be, you know what I could do? I can go in here and find pitch and take pitch and reverse this. And by reversing this, it reverses the way that the pitch control works, which then will allow the flex, because I want it to go down in pitch, not up in pitch. That's just my personal preference. That when I go to manipulate pitch, I want it to go down and not up. So let's take all these and reverse them. It's not grabbing that one. There we go. We just had to give me some more screen real estate. For anybody that's actually watching, yes, I do tend to talk to myself a lot in the studio. It's either me or my dog. Oh, that one is too low. I can't actually grab that one. All right, well, let's see. So we play this with. That's not bad, but I actually don't like that sound. I don't like that sound. Ooh, it's an atomic Bram. I want to know that one. Okay. So we could take this and again, MIDI learn it. Lots of MIDI learning. Lots and lots of MIDI learning. That's okay. Actually, I want to pop up. I want to pop up. What is it? Oh, because I'm not on the right screen. There we go. We're going to pop up our MIDI keyboard here, so that way I don't have to trigger it with my other hand. Right, and I can. So I'm just holding down the A key. Actually, I can use my sustain pedal here. I'm just moving this with my hand, which I gotta say, I mean, this is why I bought the Airwave, right? It's like, I need to make more windows. I need more real estate on my windows, please. But like, I'm just doing stuff like this while playing a note. Isn't all the way set up. Let's set that back up. Connect, please, connect. You're like partially connected. You still don't want to fully connect, do you? There we go. Thank you. I like that. I gotta be careful because I keep pulling my hand away thinking, oh, it's done, but it's not. It's not done. that's kind of cool. Just by going down an octave, we can go back up an octave maybe to make it less breaky. Just moving the airwave is so freaking... I mean, it's funny. When I first started playing with Proto Studio, I was like, oh, this XY pad thing is cool. And then they added in the MIDI learn. And I was setting it up with my XY pads. I have an XY pad MIDI controller. And it was cool, but then I had to drag my finger around and all this other stuff. Like, just having it to use the airwave. Just having it so it's like, like if I move this over here so that you can see, you know, I can just totally wave my hand around and have it control. I mean, that's just really cool. Oh, and then, oh, let's go and learn the pitch to the tilt. Let's go and take that and say, learn the left-hand tilt. So now, when we do a note, tilt to start earlier so that when I use the tilt, do all sorts of weird stuff like that. But seriously, when I first got Proto Studio going, I was like, oh, this will be really cool with these certain things. Uh-oh, beach ball. Beach ball. I might have pushed too much. Push too many buttons. Since my Yukon just went, I'm guessing I'm crashing. I have a feeling I just lost the Pro Tools. Yeah, it stopped responding. Let's see if we can bring it back quickly. Too many buttons too quickly. Too many buttons too quickly. See? See? No? Get that back. Protos, you can do it. Come on. I got a lot of plugins. It's like, dude, do you have to have so many plugins? And I'm like, yes, I do. Let's pull this back up. It's funny, my left hand here on my keyboard for Pro Tools is just outside the reach of the Rolly Airwave. Anyway, while we wait for Pro Tools to come back up, why not just chat for a little bit? Like I said, this was really just more of a fun way for me to do something different and exciting. Figured I'd share the stream with everybody. Why not? Not to be selfish. No need for me to be selfish with what I do on my cold, rainy Tuesday afternoons. This morning I spent time setting up, doing some classes. You have trouble monitoring Kronos through Pro Tools, but other libraries like Soundly run smooth. Any tips? Yeah, it depends on what kind of problems you're having with it. I mean, I set up Kronos Studio especially on an instrument track. and then I take that instrument track and send it into an audio track to be recorded. And I don't always record back in, especially now that they have the instant record that comes with Proto Studio. Let's go back to my Pro Tools setup so that you can see what I'm talking about. But, you know, Proto Studio on the instrument track, feeding into a stereo track here. Let's go and let's pull up something cinematic. This has sort of always worked for me. I've used it in Audio Suite also to do backgrounds. This was also, again, before we got the ability to render and drag stems from Proto Studio. Because when it first came out, you couldn't... Well, first of all, when it first came out, you couldn't drag your performance in. Second of all, I usually wanted to perform 2 pictures, so I was going to be running Pro Tools anyway, so I just record it back in. But now that it records and everything else, I will trust these stems a little bit more. But mostly I have it coming back in on a track through audio input. So I'm not sure what kind of issues you're having. Like if it's getting jittery, maybe your Pro Tools system. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of system you're running. Are you running Windows or Mac? How powerful is your processor? All that sort of stuff does all sort of take effect in it. But, oh, you know what I wanted to try? Sorry, I'm getting slightly distracted. I wanted to try something with one of the presets in here. Let's try marker drawing. So this, I like that, but now I can put it to my Rolly Airwave. And if I say MIDI learn, and I say that, and MIDI learn y-axis that, I gotta hit the keyboard note a little harder. Kind of like that idea, that I can just sort of play that way. Let's bring back up our keyboard here and let's jump the velocity up. Why not? Why is that not triggering? Oh, this... No. That's interesting. Oh. Because I switched. It's just not playing very loudly, though. Let's see. Oh, you're trying to route it into Pro Tools from outside. Got it. Yeah. I always have it as on the instrument track in Pro Tools because the aux IO in Pro Tools can get really choppy. So I always have it in like this. The only time I use the standalone Proto Studio, I use it when I'm using Resolve or Fairlight, and I use it when I'm just trying to create some sounds that I'm going to use later. But I almost do all of my work in Pro Tools, so every one of my edit sessions, I have basically this track set up in a folder called Sound Design Tracks. It's actually in a folder preset that if we close my MIDI keyboard, close my MIDI keyboard, and I pull up my, I have my track presets and I have jdr3. If I pull that up, which sometimes I don't get, this is one thing I don't get with how Avid does stuff, is that it seems to get confused that way. So if I go there and then I have my sound design tracks, and this will pull up all these tracks in a folder. With Falcon, Weaponizer, Contact, Reactor, and Croto Studio. And then this one I switched between Dehumanizer and Reformer. And those are in every session when I'm editing, because I use them a lot. Instead of editing, I will perform sound effects, like we can with this writing thing. It looks like these AI ones won't be with the Airwave, or because of the fact that I can't trigger a note with the Airwave, right? I can only trigger movement with it. So it's really cool for that factor, but well, I guess I can do something like that. Do one click there. It's a little laggy for this. And that could be the AI thing. But I guess I can click just anywhere in the middle. Like, normally you have to click and drag like this, but if I do learn MIDI, I gotta show my Airwave again. And I go learn X-axis for glide, and I learn Y-axis for raise. You know what? Let's do pitch for tilt. Now, this is 4. I think the hardest part is finding the range of motion. Oh man, I wish I had a creature thing coming up, where like something where somebody had to dig through like a dead body in the show. This would be so cool. Just to wave my hand around. Anyway, yeah, I know. It's weird talking to yourself sometimes, but you get used to it. Where are my vehicles? This is the thing. If you're sticking around and you want to see something cool that you can do with the Airwave and Croto Studio, this has been, and I am so looking forward to using this, is being able to drive the vehicle by raising my hand. Okay. So let's start the car again. I'll show you the Airwave so that you see my hand's sitting here. This is sitting down at idle. Actually, if I want to, I can switch this MIDI learn on. Let's put that to tilt. MIDI learn tilt. And we'll put my hand sort of sideways. Start the car. Modulation in there. It allows you to just give it a little more extra emphasis on stuff. Almost like, it can almost be like you're shifting gears, right? Now with driving this speed, pitch out, switch it. through its gears. Like I'm so looking forward. So the next season of Four Seasons is starting soon, and I know they're going to be driving. And this is so how I'm going to do cars. And they're never going to be driving that fast. You know, and it's. I just love the idea that I can now perform even that much more without using my mouse, right? I can just move my hands around and have this control. I do wish that under here it was easier to set up how far things needed to go. And I guess I can lessen how much, so that I don't have to tilt all the way back. I can just go halfway up. Or like if I'm doing something like our fan favorite of, I was hoping that, oh no, I guess I had to go all the way down, right? So now I can sort of have it there, so that the tilt can almost be at normal and it doesn't drop very low. That might be the better way of doing it. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out these controls. I'm still trying to figure out what I like, how I like it. The flex is a weird one because I feel like flex interferes with drive too much, but maybe not. Grasp is a very cool control. Glide, I wish there was a way to know the center better. And it gets really confused when you have both hands going. When you have both hands going, it's like, right, we have both hands and it loses one over the other. And it kind of, oh, that, no, it does right there, right there. It's like, where'd your other hand go? And then it's like, oh, wait, there it is. Up there. I mean, I guess you could use that in a weird way, probably to do something really messed up. But it's kind of cool. It is very cool. Anyway, does the airwave control panning knob as well as, or only pitch and levels? So you could set the airwave up. It's sending out just CCs. So whatever can accept a CC command. You know, if I wanted to, I could set it up under here. I can learn MIDI CC of the pan here, or if I want to put the pan on a macro for Croto Studio, I could do that. It doesn't really want to do it in Pro Tools that way, because it does have a set number of CC numbers. Like it only, the multiple controls of the airwave. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I think it goes from CC 20 to 32. And that's how you would control it. So it doesn't do notes on and off. It just does CC control. So whatever you can control with a CC note. Now, there are some things that I've found like it doesn't want to necessarily do. I did not mean to close that. It doesn't matter that I did close it. It just means I can't show you. And you won't see the hand gliding. But like one of the things that I really like about what our friends at Krotos did is that they've made it so that you can MIDI learn the accesses, which is really great. What I'm not a huge fan of is that not everybody's done that. You can do it with Falcon, which is my other favorite. So I was having a lot of fun with Falcon the other day, where let's just load up a factory default for a second here and load up, let's load up a wavetable just because these are a good way of showing what I want to show. Come on. Load up a wavetable. And we can go here and go for something crazy. Right, and so now we have this wavetable here. And I can tell it to learn. So I can go ahead and set up my airwave control for MIDI learn. And this is one thing that I wish that Rolly would change, is that this would be easier. Like basically if I raise or lower my hand, that it just does what I want. But I can go here and say MIDI learn, and I can go over here and I could say raise. And now when I turn this off, did it learn it? Doesn't seem to have learned it. And this again, it's like too many programs trying to talk at once, I think. Did it learn it now? Did not. So we can also go, I learned MIDI CC 26. I did not want to do that. And it's learning 26 again. That's because I'm touching my C board, which is automatically sending 26 to it. And now it just thinks that it's there. MIDI learn. Why are you? So for this case, 26 is flex, I guess, for my left hand. As I flex the hand up and down, it's changing our wavetable. That's an obnoxious sound. Let's go down in pitch somewhere. I don't really like those high pitch sounds. And then I can even go even crazier and say, you know, MIDI learn something else. Now learn voices and the wave index at the same time. I'm hearing the clicks of the voices though, so I'm going to unlearn that one. We should probably, I wonder if I move my hand away from it. Yeah, now it'll allow me, so I could pick any of these numbers in between. And it looks like I picked left hand grasp, which is kind of neat for voices, but I didn't mean to actually. Let's unlearn that and let's go back over here. We could do phase distortion. We could say MIDI learn and say number 20. All right, so now we can have this switch to something else. Change to the formant. That's kind of cool. But, you know, getting everything to learn these things doesn't always work well. Like one of the things I was really hoping with this that I'd be able to do is I have Whoosh by Tonestorm, which I love. This is one of my favorite Whoosh makers. And so I can go here and I can say, okay, set it up. And right now it's currently following MIDI CC1, which is not one of the CCs from our airwave. But if I want to reset it, you have to click and do it, and I can't click here and then go over here and click here. Right? So that's kind of annoying. What I did find is that if I double click here and tell it to reset, sometimes it picks up what it's supposed to. I don't know why it's not now. It was picking up a CC. Maybe because I need to have that off there. So it's picking up CC21, which CC21 happens to be the right hand grasp. So if I go over here and just move my screens around a little bit and I bring my right hand in, it should trigger it. It was triggering it before. I don't know why it's not now. There we go. So now, as I grasp and ungrasp, I can control the whoosh. So it all depends on the tool that you're trying to use of whether or not it can control something. The Airwave does only send out set CCs. They happen to be usually blank CCs. Not always aligning with what you want. That's why I do like things like with Krotos where they made the MIDI learn easy. But yeah. All right, well, that's all I have time for today. I do have to bounce, jump, go on with life. I hope you enjoyed this. I will try to do this again soon. I am starting a Twitch channel. I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know. I'm just, this is what happens when I'm bored. I do have a program coming up soon that I'm going to be working on, which I might do some live streams while I'm working, and you'll get to hear the sounds but not necessarily see the screen. But it could be fun nonetheless. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.